Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Let's go to Brian in Philadelphia. What's up, Brian?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
What's up?
So I just had a quick question. I don't really have any sort of issue with saving money, but my question is about student loan debt.
Uh-huh.
I got lucky with it, and I got half of my college paid for, and I went to a cheap school.
Sweet.
So I only have about $12,500.
Mm-hmm.
I have more than enough saved up where I could just pay that off and not have that debt.
Right.
But I have not been making payments on it due to the pause and thinking that maybe it'll be canceled or at least $10,000. So my question is it worth just tackling and knocking out, or is it a better idea to just continue making payments? And
Brian,
do you love it? Does it make you feel warm? Do you love it?
Do I love what?
That loan.
I do not love the loan, no.
Like when nobody's around, do you go in like your room and shut the door and just hug it? Do you love it?
Brian, the dream of forgiveness died several months back.
Pay it off right now. What are you doing?
Pay it off. And I'm gonna say something and it might sting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Pay off your student loan and do it with knowing inside your heart, man, this is awesome that I have the money to pay this off. Because so many folks call our show and they don't have the money to pay it off. Not today and not for several years on down the line. And when you wait out for forgiveness, people who didn't even take out student loans or have their own, they're fitting the bill. And so when you have the money to pay so that other people who didn't even have student loans aren't going to have to pay through any type of, who knows what'll come down the pipe, next election year or whatever. Maybe somebody's going to talk about forgiveness again, but always remember nothing's free. Like first rule of economics, there's no such thing as a free lunch, right? Everything costs, and it costs the taxpayer. And if you're a person in this country that can pay the bills that they signed up to pay it.
You called the wrong two people because both Jade and I paid off hundreds of thousands of dollars.
And I'll tell you right now, Brian, if those forgivenesses went through and Miss Jade had to add that to her taxes, I'd be fired up because I already paid $280,000. You know what I'm saying, Brian?
Yeah, the part about the timeline, and I definitely got your answer on that, and I kind of had a suspicion that you might say that.
Yeah.
But I was actually about to pay it off, and then right when I was about to pay it off, the whole thing came up that it might just be forgiven. So I figured if I paid it and then it immediately would have been forgiven, I would have thought to myself I should have invested that money elsewhere. But I totally get your point, though.
I think there's a bigger thing. There's and I think we lose this. I think we lose this globally. There is a psychological and in turn a physiological response to integrity, to standing up and keeping your word, telling the truth. There's a reason why truth telling is woven into the fabric of every faith tradition in human history. You walk differently. And when I was 18 and I signed up for all the stupid loans I signed up for, I had no idea what I was signing up for. None of us did. We were just doing the next thing that everybody told us. Mm-hmm. But we both put our names on a piece of paper and said, if you help me get through school, I'll pay you back. You did too. And so I can see that you would have been like, dude, I got $10,000 more in my pocket. And, we got bailed out by the government. Jade's right. Number one, anytime a government agency bails you out, they will come knocking for a piece of flesh at some point. Mm-hmm. If you've ever sat in a history class, they will come back to your door and say, where's mine? So always count on that. But the big thing is you would be like, oh man, I should have invested it. But I did what was right because I put my name on a piece of paper and I said I'd pay you back, and there you go. Here's my money, and I'm moving on to the next.
And you know what? Thanks for that call, Brian, because we needed to talk about this with the people. Don't you think that everyone would like to open up their bills and go, I'm not going to pay that? I mean, no one wants to pay their bills. Right. No one wants to give away money. Like, it doesn't feel good. And it's not fun.
Especially
right?
when you didn't realize what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm saying it's not fun to write your check for your car pay or, pay online. I'm sorry, I just aged myself. No one wants to send that online payment payment for their car, but they signed up to have a car payment. No one wants to send, even though this is a little bit better, your insurance payment, and you're like, gosh, I never even use this thing. And it's not fun to give away your money, but when you sign up for something, you say that you're going to pay for it. And there is that piece of it that's there. And when it comes to these student loans, yeah, I can really get into this. Here's the thing, and I want to validate this because I felt that, John, I'm sure you have too. With student loans is very different because you're looking around, you're going, yeah, I was 18. Somebody should have stepped in. Like, it would have been nice if some adult had gone, hey, Jade, you don't need to take out that much student loans because, you've got a full ride scholarship. You don't need to take out student loans to get your hair done and go to parties and buy groceries. Like, that's dumb, Jade. Don't do that. I would have loved if an adult did that. I would have loved if an adult stood and really explained compound interest to me when it's working against you. I would have loved that, but nobody did. I would have loved so many things to be different about that situation, for the people to say, hey, don't put your loan on forbearance because when you do that, it's going to accumulate interest in you faster than you've ever could imagine. No one did that. And I can spend my whole life blaming them, or I can go, oh, let me change my whole life. I can't blame my way to a better life. I've got to change the situation. Pay off your debt. That's all it is, man.